Act 35. Confiding in each other. Time: winter of the 17th year of the Red Mansion. Location: Xiaoxiang Pavilion. Character: Jia Baoyu, Lin Daiyu, Shishu, Xueyan, Zijuan, Grandmother Jia, Lady Wang, Li Wan, Wang Shifeng, Aunt Shui, and several others. Character profile card. Name: Shishu. Gender: female. Identity: Jia Tanchuan's maid. Personality: quick-witted and eloquent. That day, I heard that Daiyu was very ill, so Shi came to visit. As soon as he entered the courtyard, he was pulled aside by Xueyan, who asked, "Is it true that the second Lord Bao is getting engaged as you mentioned the other day?" Shishu said, "It's true, but it's not confirmed yet." When I later went to Madame Lien's side, I heard her talking to Ping's sister, saying that this was proposed by my servants to please the master. The old lady couldn't decide on this matter, and even the madam couldn't decide. It is said that the old lady actually had someone in her heart long ago, someone from our Grand View garden. Upon hearing this, Xueyan was startled. If this matter is not settled, wouldn't Miss Lin have pushed herself to the brink of death in vain? But it's probably too late to say anything now. Thinking of Daiyu's lifeless appearance, it probably happened in the last 1 or 2 days. Just then, Zijuan returned and angrily scolded, "If you have something to say, why not say it outside? Why do you have to gossip here and drive her to her death?" They were still talking here when the coughing sound of Daiyu came from inside the room. Zijuan hurried to the side to wait, and Shishu and Xueyan dared not speak again. Zijuan quickly poured half a bowl of water to feed Daiyu, who took a few sips, breathed for a while, and looked at the situation, which seemed to have improved a bit. Daiyu heard what Xueyan and Shishu just said, and realized that the matter they mentioned a few days ago was not yet decided. She also thought about what Shishu just said, that the old lady already had a candidate in mind who lived in the Grandview Garden. Suddenly, a sense of hope surged in her heart. Who else could it be besides herself? Thinking of this, Daiyu suddenly felt much better, so she took a few sips of water. At this time, Jia Lian, Lady Wang, Li Wan, and Wang Shifeng, who received the news, all rushed over and saw that Daiyu seemed to be in good spirits. Except for being a little weak, there was no major problem. Sister Feng called Zijuan over and asked in a low voice, "The young lady's illness doesn't seem to be so serious. Why did you scare people like that?" The purple magnolia said, "Things were really bad before, but now they suddenly got much better. It's really strange." However, she did not know that Daiyu's illness was fundamentally in her heart. When her heart felt relaxed, she naturally felt better. Daiyu did not know that although the marriage proposal did not work out, another marriage proposal was secretly happening behind the scenes. They just kept it a secret from her. On this day, Madame Wang and Aunt Shui went to Grandmother Jia's room to talk about Baoyu and Baochai. It turns out that Jia Zheng had already decided to arrange for Baoyu and Baochai to betroth this winter, and then hold the wedding ceremony in the spring. After Grandmother Jia's birthday, Baoyu will officially marry Baochai. Grandmother Jia was very happy to hear this. Just then, Baoyu returned from school. After greeting everyone, he saw Aunt Shui and asked, "Is Sister Bao's health better now?" Aunt Shui smiled and replied, "All right." Because they were just talking about the marriage between Baoyu and Baochai, now that they see Baoyu coming in, the expressions of everyone are somewhat strange. Baoyu, puzzled, after eating with a full belly of doubts, went back to the study hall. After coming back from school in the evening and greeting the elders, Baoyu went to the Xiaoxiang Pavilion again. Seeing only Zijuan in the room, Baoyu asked, "Where did the young lady go?" Zijuan said, Did you go upstairs to greet the second master? Bao Yu said, I went there. I just didn't see your lady. Just then, Dai Yu came back with Shuiyan, and Bao Yu hurried to greet her. After they sat down in the room, Dai Yu asked, Did you go over there to see Aunt? Bao Yu said, I see. Dai Yu asked again, Has Auntie mentioned me? Bao Yu said, Not only did she not mention you, but even when she saw me, she wasn't as affectionate as before. I asked about Sister Bao's illness, but she didn't say much. Could it be that she is blaming me for not visiting the past 2 days? Dai Yu smiled and asked, So you didn't go take a look? Bao Yu said, I didn't know Sister Bao was sick the first few days, just found out these past 2 days, but haven't gone yet. Dai Yu said, It's no wonder she's blaming me. At this time, neither of them knew that Aunt Shui was already the future mother-in-law of Bao Yu. They just thought she was unhappy that Bao Yu didn't visit the sick. Therefore, Bao Yu felt wronged and said, It's not that I don't want to go, it's that Grandma and Uncle won't let me go. How could I dare to go? If it were like before, even if the side door was still open, I could go see her 10 times a day. But now that the gate is closed, I have to go around to the front, which is not convenient. Dai Yu said, How would others know the reason for this? Bao Yu said, Sister Bao is the most understanding of me. Dai Yu glanced sideways at Bao Yu and said, You probably have the wrong idea. When it comes to Sister Bao, she is even more understanding. It's not Aunt Shui who is sick, it's Sister Bao who is sick. In the past, we used to enjoy the flowers, compose poetry, and drink together in the garden. It was so lively. Now that we are separated, her brother is imprisoned. She is sick herself, and you act as if nothing is wrong. How could she not be upset? Bao Yu hurriedly asked, In that case, does that mean Sister Bao won't be nice to me anymore? Dai Yu said, I don't know if she is on good terms with you or not. I am just speaking objectively. Seeing Bao Yu's blank expression, Dai Yu ignored him and had someone add incense, then took out a book to read. Bao Yu suddenly stomped his foot and said, What was the point of me being born in this world? It would be better off without me. Dai Yu said slowly, In this world, when there is me, there are people. When there are people, there are countless troubles, fear, confusion, oppression, slander, dreams, suspicion, jealousy, lies, vanity, climbing up. What I just said was just jokes. Just because you see Aunt feeling down, you can suspect Bao Yu? Aunt has been unsettled because of the family's legal disputes recently. It's normal for her to not have the energy to entertain you. Everything is just your own wild imagination. Upon hearing these words, Bao Yu suddenly brightened up and said with a smile, Exactly. You are much smarter than me. Dai Yu took the opportunity to say, I have a question for you. Let's see how you answer. Bao Yu crossed his legs, clasped his hands, closed his eyes, and sat still like a monk meditating, saying, Please speak. Dai Yu said, How are you getting along with Bao's sister? What if she's not getting along with you? If she used to get along with you but now she's not, how would you feel? If she's getting along with you now but later she's not, what would you do? If you're getting along with her but she's not with you, how would you feel? And if you're not getting along with her, but she wants to get along with you, what would you do? Bao Yu listened in a daze for a while, then suddenly laughed and said, Let the weak water of the 3,000 take its course. I only take a sip. Dai Yu asked again, How about the water floating in the ladle? Bao Yu replied, It's not the ladle that floats on water, but the water that flows and the ladle that floats. Dai Yu asked again, When the water stops, the pearls sink. What do you think? Bao Yu replied, My peaceful mind is already stained with mud and cotton. Do not dance with partridges in the spring breeze. Daiyu said, the first precept of Zen is not to tell lies. Baoyu said, it's like 3 treasures. Daiyu lowered her head and remained silent. Suddenly, she heard a crow outside calling caw-caw a few times. Baoyu said, after hearing this crow call, I wonder whether it is a good omen or a bad omen. Daiyu whispered, a person's fortune and misfortune are not determined by the sounds of birds. Before the words even finished, Xiao suddenly arrived and said, Second master, please go back. The master is sending someone to ask if you have finished your studies. Baoyu quickly stood up, hurriedly left, and Daiyu dared not detain him any longer. Qin, chess, calligraphy, and painting in Dream of the Red Chamber. The 4 maidservants referred to as for springs. Jia Yuanchun,
Bao Qin,
Jia Ingchun,
Siki,
Jia Tanchun, Shishu,
Jia Shichuan, Ruhua.
The names of the 4 maids symbolize the special talents of Qin, a stringed instrument, Qi, a board game, Shu, calligraphy, and Hua, painting.